right, so we are now in downtown Houston, City Hall right there behind me. The marchers have all pretty much made it here. It's a hot Saturday, Houston in October. And the atmosphere is now closer to a party. We're gonna walk through it, but there's giant speakers, there's dance music happening in the background. I got Pugsley with me. And we're gonna try to talk to some more people, but this is Houston's No King March. See it in the background there. Stay tuned. Can you tell me why you're here today?
Oh man, there's so many reasons. In fact, it's part of the problem that we couldn't even come up with enough signs because there's so many reasons. But basically it's because we are against tyranny, we're against Trump acting as if he is a sole authoritarian, doing whatever he pleases without any regard to the Constitution. And we're pro-Constitution, we're pro-America. And, the deportation without representation is unfair, it's horrible, it's making it feel like ICE is the new Gestapo.
Your flag says, "We the people are pissed." And you got Duck over here. Oh, and let me make sure I get your, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's a rooster?
It is a rooster, and I mean, basically, this is a symbol of a peaceful protest. We're not violent.
You're pissed, but you're peaceful.
And is the chip
We
right
are.
here on?
So, yeah, I just feel like, we wanted to represent the peaceful protesters who are trying to make sure that the legislators who are coming up for midterm elections understand how many people are out here who do not like the way that things are happening right now in America. We want them to know, and we are peaceful and we are pissed, but we just want things to change. And
what would you say is you named a couple of different issues. What would you say is your number one issue? Sorry about that.
God, the number one issue, I think, is
Pissing you off the most. And there's a lot, I know.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think the fact that he is militarizing against Americans, the fact that he's bringing in National Guard and taking out families, ripping them apart, making it as if we are at war with him. Trump is my main issue for being here. It's just he is causing such a rift. It's dividing everyone. And I'm here because I want him gone. I want him out of here.
Let's talk a little bit about that division. You could look at the voting numbers, election numbers. That's one measurement, one metric. But a lot of people feel like, especially on the internet, that things seem pretty divided. I don't know, 50-50 or whatever, but that there is a lot of division and hostility between these different sides. What do you think is the main thing driving that?
The division?
Yeah, do you think it's Trump himself? Or?
I think 100%. Republicans and Democrats have always had opposing views, but we have not had the division that we had until Trump came along. When he started using such hateful words, literally telling people that he hates Democrats. I mean, you can't go anywhere but down when the leader of your country is dividing us in such an open way. I mean, just openly saying that we're vile, that we are the criminals, we are the enemy within. All of those sound bites.
Do you think that opened the door for both parties to start doing that? Because, you got like Hillary Clinton calling people, I think 2016, deplorables, which is a good chunk of the country of people. And my personal view is not every person who supports Trump is racist. I think the racists do like Trump. But I wouldn't kind of cast that on that whole entire crowd, because I've met people who have different reasons.
Oh, I have friends who are Republican. I have friends, and they are Republican, and we have to, we've had conversations about having similar values. So it feels like if we can talk, why can't government talk? Why can't they talk it out and work things out? Because people on the street level, friends who are Democrat and Republican, are able to talk. I'm not one to go out there and say all Republicans are this or that. I'm not. I don't. I think that Trump is the source of the division, and there's a lot of people on both sides who have taken that division and held on to it like it's their lifeblood. I want union. I want union. I want us to get back together. I want someone like James Tallarico in Texas. I want him to come in, and he can talk to both sides. He is a religious man that's a Democrat. He has so many values that the Republicans say are their values, but he wants to talk to them about where we can meet in the middle. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. So in the spirit of that unity, if you had, because my audience is mixed crowd, people who are very much against what Trump's doing, others who have mixed opinions, and others who are fully bought in, let's say. So it's a very mixed crowd who will hear this. But what would you say in the spirit of that unity to somebody who's hearing this who is a Trump supporter and maybe has heard that propaganda that this is violent, anti-American, radical, whatever, the things they're hearing on Fox News and elsewhere. In the spirit of unity, what message would you share with somebody like that?
I'd say stop listening to what Trump says and actually look at what's happening. Live news can't lie, right? It's live. It's happening. So when people are out here, look at this mass. We are not breaking down businesses. We're not out here with guns and wanting to hurt anybody. We're here in rooster costumes. We're here to say that we're peaceful. We want to talk together. So, Trumpers, I think that you just need to stop listening to him, start listening to your neighbor, talk to them, find out what do you have in common, because we have a lot of same values.
So I agree with you that this protest and the one in June and pretty much all of Houston's protests tend to be, Houston's not a city where people tend to burn things down like maybe some other cities have experienced. What would you say to those Trump supporters or folks who say, well, the National Guard is necessary because Portland or pockets of these cities have experienced violence?
National Guard is only necessary if the governor says that they're necessary.
Do you think it's a states' rights issue?
It's a states' right, yeah. The state needs to be the one who says, we got this. We're going to get this under control. If they can't get it under control, if there's cities that are having major problems with riots, then they would call in the National Guard because we want to keep everyone safe, right? But don't just deploy it without the state saying, I need you. Those National Guards should be somewhere else helping.
What would you say, again, to kind of try to steel man the other side's argument? If those folks who say, well, the National Guard becomes necessary if people start blocking ICE's vehicles, or if there was an attempted, sniper shooting at one, I think it was in Dallas, ICE facility. So they're using those examples to try to argue that also saying, my other point was, that the states aren't doing anything. This is another argument I hear. It's like, well, states' rights, but what do the people do if the local mayor isn't enforcing the laws? Or if the
You can't have it both ways. You can't try to give the government back to the states, which is one of the things that you stand on, trying to take away our federal protections and federal funding and federal programs and oversight, and then you want the states to handle it, then you need to trust the states. You can't have it both ways. I feel like the states are in charge of their police and their sheriffs. They will take care of it.
Yeah, great. Okay. Last question. Do you think that Trump himself and the right under Trump, are they authoritarian?
Oh, Trump is authoritarian. I mean, I just feel that way. His actions speak louder than words. His actions are showing that he's just doing what he wants to do when he wants to do it without the government's buy-in. He's just doing it. So it's not okay. I mean, to me, that's authoritarianism. That's fascism.
Do you think both parties are capable of authoritarianism, or do you see it purely coming from the right?
But I mean, I haven't seen authoritarianism under Obama, under Biden, under Clinton, I haven't seen authoritarianism. I've seen them more talking.
Do you support, the one area I would disagree with that is that you've seen Trump bombing these alleged drug cartel boats.
Yeah, that he alleged.
No evidence, nothing provided, but that's what they're claiming, right? That authority, which he believes he has and the courts haven't tested, was really set the precedent with Obama starting to drone bomb people in countries around the world, saying, well, they're terrorists, so we can violate sovereignty. So Trump's using those same arguments now, but now it's about drug cartels and international gangs.
In international waters, not in the country.
And just in the same way that Obama is going to international, like Sudan, Somalia, bombing people, saying, who cares about your borders? There's a terrorist that we says wants to hurt us, we're going to kill them. maybe that's not authoritarianism, but I definitely think it's a sign that both parties are capable of ignoring the Constitution whenever it suits their needs, particularly...
Like shock and awe from Bush?
Yeah, exactly. Particularly when it comes to war, when it comes to issues like surveillance. Like, Obama came in saying he was going to prosecute the torturers under Bush, and then said, we need to look forward. And then you see this kind of baton, I call it the baton of tyranny, being passed between party and party, where they differ in very broad ways on different issues, obviously immigration, abortion, things like that. But then when it comes to war and surveillance and growing that sort of broader military-industrial complex, they vote for Israel, they vote for more weapons. What are your thoughts on that? Like the ways that both parties play a role in that?
So, honestly, I gotta plead the just not knowing as much as I should know when it comes to foreign affairs. I can't really say what they know in as far as all of their intelligence and what the information is that they have, whether it's him. And I didn't bring up the bombing of Venezuela boats or boats in, not Venezuela, but in the international water. I didn't bring that up. You brought that up.
Because I think it's an issue. I definitely think that's an issue.
But it wasn't my issue. Because I don't know enough about war and how
they should be able to bomb people in other international waters?
I want to be able to trust the president.
Like if you trusted their intelligence, do you think that's a right the government should have?
The president and his generals to know the right thing to do. But when he hires a Fox newscaster as the head of our now War Department, that doesn't build a lot of trust in.
So if it wasn't Trump or if it was a different, more experienced person, you'd be more inclined to trust it, that they have the intelligence to do it?
I wasn't happy about shock and awe. No one's happy about bombing. I wasn't happy about Obama bombing. No one wants that. He
got the nickname the Drone King, and then Trump did way more than him after that. I don't know if you know, Trump actually got rid of the requirement that required governments to report how many drone bombs they did. So since his first term, we don't really know how many he did, how much Biden did, and that's just another way. But that's, to me, so one other example, and I'll let you go. Thank you for giving me your time. I just want to get such a diverse view of opinions. One other area is that I think they unfortunately seem to use the same practices. So we see under ICE, Americans starting to be mistakenly arrested in the whole, they're shock and awe with immigration, going the streets, raiding people, masked up and everything. Yeah. And so they're like, oops, sorry, our mistake. And some people are out in 24, 48 hours once they realize they're American after being traumatized. And that is largely being done because of profiling people based on their skin color. If you're light brown like myself or darker, you could be potentially harassed in some cities.
I have friends who are not here today because of their skin color.
And then in that same way, post 9/11, Bush was doing the profiling of Muslims. In New York, they had stop and frisk, where basically...
We didn't like that either.
Yeah, so that to me is, again, it's like, well, Trump can do it, Bush can do it, Obama continued it. We just need to do better, my personal thought, than both the parties, which is why I come here to try to talk to people like you, because I think what you said earlier, unity is really the answer. Like, how do we find that common ground? I don't expect to agree with anybody on everything.
Well, one of the other things I want to bring up is the fact that the Pentagon press has now been forced to sign an agreement that you would only report on things that they have approved. That sounds very suspicious to me. Like, why do you have to approve it? Freedom of speech, it allows you to report things as they happen and not as they want you to see it or hear it. So that's a big problem.
Did you see a lot of the media walked out rather than signing the...
They did. And there was only one that I know of that stayed, and that's called American News.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much pro-Trump.
Yeah. So, that's a problem to me. And I just, I think that the people who were born here, he took away the birthright citizenship. That's unconstitutional. I don't even understand how that happened. These people were born here. How are they able to just take them now? That's the only country they've ever known. These people are paying taxes. We're not trying to give health care to undocumented immigrants. We're trying to get health care to Americans. That's what we want.
You think people are just hearing those talking points?
And it's like, and Mike Johnson won't stop saying it. He says it over and over and over and over again. And it's just not true. I don't know anybody that's saying we want to give health care to undocumented.
But they might find one person and take that extreme example and then act like that's what the...
It could be, and that's where,
It's made up. But one last question. Do you have hope for the future?
I always have hope for the future. I have hope that at some point Trump is going to be out of there. 3 more years, he's going to be out of there. We're going to see if a regular Republican, and I say regular because I feel like there were, I wasn't anti-Bush. I didn't particularly care for him, but I wasn't anti-Bush. Normal Republicans meet us in the middle. Normal Democrats meet us in the middle. So yeah, I have hope that we'll get there.
Since 2012, the Conscious Resistance Network has been an independent media organization focused on empowering individuals through education, philosophy, health, and community organizing. We work to create a world where corporate and state power do not rule over the lives of free human beings. Our motto is leading by example and helping others in their pursuit of freedom. Visit theconsciousresistance.com to find our articles, documentaries, interviews, podcasts, books, and more. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free.